Hi, and welcome back to the Quality Connect YouTube channel. I'm Trevor, and this is the founder of Quality Connect, Andrew Wellwood, and today we're going to be talking about safety on a building project. Here's a quote from Atul Gawande, author of the Checklist Manifesto. "We always hope for the easy fix, the one simple change that will erase a problem in a stroke, but few things in life work this way. Instead, success requires making 100 small steps go right. One after the other. No slip-ups, no goofs, everyone pitching in." Now, here's a fun fact I found online. I kind of laughed when I saw it. Sears used to sell a build-it-yourself home kit, and you could order it from Sears. Can you imagine that? Build it yourself nowadays.
I would love to see what truck delivers that. And if the instructions resembled Sears or IKEA, here's your tool, build your house.
He only needs a screwdriver and a hammer and go.
Yeah, please see box 183 for the 5 screws you need for this section.
Exactly. So I don't know how well that went, but anyways, it's pretty interesting. You could buy it from a department store. Anyway, so today, talking about safety is a big thing that you have to deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And it's something that everybody on construction projects is on high alert for all the time. Maybe share a little bit of insight on that, how safety affects residential building projects.
Well, if you knew me when I first got into framing, and you heard and you knew that I was going to talk on safety, you would be laughing, because safety back when I started, it was a joke. It was something I worked with the first framing company that I worked with to spin the trusses. The framer would grab one on one side. Mm-hmm. It was hooked onto the crane, jump off the house, swing around, and land back on the house on the other side. And that's how he spun the trusses around.
Oh my.
And I never saw a hard hat on a residential site for 6 or 7 years into framing. And I know one of the big builders brought a site soup out, and he was introducing the safety person. And I thought, what is this? Safety person? What are they doing here? And they had no authority. They were giving recommendations with no recourse to if you didn't abide by them, so nobody abided by them. And I think 6 years ago, I saw an OH&S officer come drive by my site on a Sunday afternoon, and that was because they lived in the area. And the site we're on right now, we've seen 4 in the last week and a half.
Yeah, so things have ramped up a lot on the safety side.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of insight. But how has safety changed since you started in construction trades? What's it like now?
It's taken seriously. Like before, that safety officer that came out, we split a case of beer on the framing site with them and the site super in the middle of the day. Yeah. Now you would never even hear of that.
No.
And if anyone caught wind of it, all of us would be fired instantly on the spot.
Yeah, we'd be shut down.
Yeah, safety is a huge thing. People are going through, everything's reinforceable. And unfortunately, and this might just be my biased opinion, safety's having a big push because a lot of people are still trying to frame it or work the old way. I don't tie off on a roof if it's not 612 or steeper. I'm like, yeah, and you're the guys that are causing the safety people to have to come out and reinforce everything. And that's, the deaths and the accidents are piling up, and they're costing the industry a lot of money, and they're giving it a bad reputation. And that's why OH&S and safety people are out there on a regular basis, is a lot of people are just blatantly disregarding safety, and you'll get shut down, you'll get fined, you'll get kicked off the site, and things are slow. Builders will can you, and they'll bring in a crew that will abide by safety. Does it slow down the building process? Of course it does. Having to do a little bit of extra work always slows down the building process. But does it slow it down enough to take a huge financial hit? No, absolutely not. Safety forms in the morning, 5 minutes. You can drink your coffee and fill out a safety form at the same time. 5 minutes for a safety meeting. that's not gonna rush you. You know, working with a harness on a roof is a little bit trickier than working without a harness, but if you've done it for years and years and years, it's just second nature. You know, you can't tell me wearing safety glasses slows down your ability to work, or wearing earplugs, slows down your ability to work. There's a lot of stuff that people just complain because they want to complain.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I've, had to, abide by lots of safety rules being in construction myself on big, industrial sites or commercial sites. Yeah. And it seems like a big hassle, and it's an everyday thing. And, that's the first thing. When anytime there's any incident, it's safety, drug test, alcohol test, and, all these things. It escalates very quickly. But, it's, at least they're doing something about it. So as a builder, who's responsible for on-site safety?
Well, and safety, unfortunately, is becoming more of a whose liability is it than actually having a safe job site.
Yeah.
So it's more of, if I do my paperwork and I cover myself, if something goes wrong, I'm not on hook. And that's the attitude that most people have in the safety. Unfortunately, that's the attitude that's reinforced in the safety, is how do I cover my ass? Basically, is when stuff goes wrong, who's going to get the blame? It's not how do I prevent stuff from going wrong, it's if stuff goes wrong, who's covered. So as a builder, you were ultimately the end all be all. You're where it ends. So you need to prove that you were doing your best to make the job site safe. So as a builder, if you go by and you see your roofer up on the roof and he's not tied off and he falls, you are at fault because you saw the site being unsafe. You have to take the initiative to, yell at the roofer, but yell to the roofer saying, look, you're on my site. We abide by OH&S regulations. Tie off. Where's your fall protection plan? Make sure you are doing this, and then document it.
Yeah.
If you leave the site and he takes his harness off and he falls off the roof, you are covered because you did your due diligence. You identified the issue, you documented it, you made sure that he was working safe when you left. If he's too stupid to realize that, he's gonna fall and hit the ground whether you're there or not, then that's, you hired a stupid roofer, I'm sorry.
Yeah, gravity still works.
Yeah, gravity still works. So that's where you as a responsibility is that you have to make sure that you're doing safety on your site. Your site is as safe as you can make it. You do due diligence to make sure that the trades you hire do abide by safety. They do have their WCB, they have their liability, which is what we check for at QualityConnect to make sure that this is already in place. And just because they have all this stuff in place doesn't mean that they actually abide by it. Yeah. Like companies that say, customer service first, and you're sitting on hold for 4 hours. But yeah, sorry. As a builder, you have to make sure that you do your due diligence. You come by and see something that isn't safe, or someone isn't working safe, a trench that's not flagged off, a stair opening that isn't secured, loose wires hanging from the ceiling. You have to make sure that you address it, you document it, and you do your best to correct it, so that if something, God forbid, happens, you can go, because when something goes wrong, OH&S shows up, they shut down the site and they do all of their investigations, and you want to be able to hand your paperwork over and say, look, they signed that they would do OH&S meetings. We've done a couple toolbox meetings on site with this trade. This is what we had in place. I either didn't notice anything when I was driving by on these days to check the site, or I did notice on Monday that, the stairwell was open going into the basement. I made a note, we corrected it, we added safety railings. That's what they want to see, is that you are doing your absolute best. You can't guarantee that everyone's going to be safe, but you have to do your best and document it.
Document, that's the biggest thing.
No one takes your word, I did talk to the roofer on Friday. Oh, did he make any note? No, I just talked to him. Unfortunately,
unless you're wearing a body cam, it
doesn't carry any weight. No,
yeah.
Sorry.
So is vetting a trade really difficult for a builder? So maybe some of the smaller builders out there who are watching, is it really tough to do that?
No, the WCB website, I think it's three steps to check to check if they have WCB.
Okay.
You either need the company's name or the company's WCB number. And you don't need permission. I could go on right now, or you can go on right now and check anyone's WCB status. You don't need them to sign off. You don't need special permission. You don't need to know the number. You can go on and check, ABC Roofing. Just type in ABC Roofing and it'll list it below, and then you can click on it to check to see if they're in good standing, or if they don't have it, or they're declined, they don't have it in good standing. And that's something you want to make sure before you hire the trade. Otherwise, if the roofer gets hurt on your site, you're covering his WCB claim, you're covering everything for him, because you hired a trade that wasn't a trade, it was an employee. If they don't have the WCB and they don't have the insurance, they're not a subcontractor, they're an employee.
Yeah, and that's nothing that you want to mess with.
No.
Very expensive. Very expensive lesson. You don't want to pay that.
Yes.
What about insurance? Like, how do you check if they've got the right insurance and a business license and all those other things?
A business license is required by law to work, but without one, you can still have WCB and you can still have liability insurance without a valid business license. Is it a loophole in the city? Yeah. Is it something that they should deal with? Yeah. Is it high up on the priority list? No. But yeah, you can check for proof of insurance. It's not the hardest thing. You just ask what insurance company they deal with and the policy number, and then you just call them up and check.
Awesome.
It's a great thing to have, because, like, I know we're harping on roofers, but when you think of safety, they're they're the ones working way up there, and when they fall, it's more fatal than when an electrician falls off a ladder. Not that you guys aren't.
Yeah.
Super important. But
Time it doesn't.
yeah, exactly. Bounce.
Just put another one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you want to know that they have insurance, not just for their own liability if they fall or they drop a bundle of shingles and kill someone walking below. Your roof leaks. That's a lot of damage, and that's a lot of cost. So you want to make sure that they have insurance in place for that as well. So
Yeah.
it is something you should check.
Absolutely. These are all amazing things, and if you are a small builder and you are getting a lot of value out of these videos, please let us know.
Yeah.
Give us a thumbs up, make some comments down below, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, and we're going to be here providing more content on a weekly basis so that you can learn more about how to be a better builder.
Yes.
I'm Trevor, this is Andrew, and we will see you guys next time.